I have made many milestone videos, but reaching this one of 100,000 has just completely and utterly dumbfounded me. Naturally, of course, every channel starts off with just one subscriber, and even before that you have to create a channel and perhaps have a reason for starting in the first place. This is my YouTube story and parts of my life I want to share with you, as this is Draw My Life on the Easter Egg Hunter. Welcome everyone to the home of finding sweet chocolate Easter eggs within our video games. Hello friends, well, for those of you that perhaps don't know me all so well, then let's start at the very beginning. I'm James, I'm 32, going on 24. I live in England on the south coast and very close to the city of Brighton. I was born into a fairly large family, as I have two sisters and a brother, all of whom are slightly older than me, and during my early years I used to go to Beavers and Cubs and Scouts, and I learnt to juggle throughout high school. I have run 2 London marathons and supported ASME UK both times, representing 2 of the loved ones we have lost, our brother and my mother. Where I currently reside, I can walk to the beach in just over 5 minutes, though my wife will joke that our beach is made up of large rocks and cobbles, where hers is made up of soft sandy shores. Oh yeah, did I mention I was married? I first met Danielle online via a friend from college, where I was studying business studies and information technology for 3 years. One night my college buddy and me celebrated his 18th birthday. After, we headed back to his place and logged onto Yahoo Messenger, where he introduced me to Danielle for the very first time. We swapped email addresses, and from that moment I typed and spoke to Danielle every day via Yahoo Messenger from October 2001 right up until the point I hopped on a plane in August 2002 and flew to Perth, Australia by myself to meet her. No doubt probably one of the most craziest things I've ever done, but it turned out to be one of the best decisions that proved incredibly positive and worthwhile, since we married in January 2004 and we have been together for over 10 years now. Most of my childhood was spent mainly growing up with my cousins and my grandparents, where they are partly responsible for turning us all into gamers at just the age of 5, thanks to them owning a Magnavox Odyssey 2, or what is known as a Philips VideoPack G7000 here in Europe. A few years later, my 3 cousins received an Atari ST one Christmas, whereas I got a Spectrum 128K+2. So we had the privilege and pleasure of using floppy disks and tapes to load our games. A long way off the likes of today's consoles and computers, you could say, but I am so glad we had the opportunity to use them and see such a progression throughout the generations of gaming. As we entered the 90s, it wasn't long before we started to notice Nintendo products entering the Christmas catalogues. I don't know what it was, but I didn't really fully become aware of Nintendo until that point. Maybe it was because Sega seemed to have become popular here and had quite a strong hold on Europe. But the year the Super Nintendo entered the market, Mum and Dad surprised me at Christmas with one, at which point I truly became addicted to gaming, if I wasn't already. Throughout the 90s, I wouldn't shut up about it, and I followed it fairly closely. I started to collect quite heavily, buying most new consoles when I could. I remember having quite a large collection of magazines and destroying them in a temper tantrum, to which my dad stepped in and told me he was very disappointed and said how I had been keeping them in such great condition, and at which point I respected everything I ever bought from then on. Over the last 20 years I have collected many consoles and games, especially from my childhood, courtesy of the great websites like eBay. But having a large collection of games, which is roughly at 900, what is the point if I have no one to share them with? And I hated the fact that most of them were stored away in boxes gathering dust in the loft. Even though I studied computing at college, my job actually could not be further away from it, since I have been working with my dad running our landscape gardening business for 12 years, which I absolutely love. So with a collection of games and my love for computers, I really have always felt the need to find something that could combine them together, and YouTube turned out to be the perfect place to bring my true passions together. I can't exactly put my finger on how I found YouTube in the first place, but it was more than likely via a link from Facebook or something, and that was in late 2008. After a few days of searching through videos, I discovered Far From Subtle and the AVGN. These 2 channels alone were all the spark I needed to sign up, naming my channel Chipsters. Yeah, Chipsters. I still don't really understand why I named it this. It had nothing to do with gaming whatsoever, but I can tell you it was created from half my surname and from a mountain of nicknames that amassed over the years, such as Chips, Chipper, Chipstick, Chipmunk, Chip, Chippendale, and mostly from the fact my two front teeth used to prominently stick out. So with my new channel, which was created in February 2009, I set out hoping to provide some sort of show that would entertain and be informative, just as AVGN and Far From Subtle were doing. But what I can tell you, it took me 3 long weeks to create my first ever episode, reviewing Super Mario Bros. On the NES. It was probably one of the most stressful things I have ever done, simply because I had such little experience with a camcorder, writing notes, scripts, gathering information, trying to create original content, editing footage with software I'd never used, capturing gameplay, and then sitting in front of the camera and talking. Now that was awkward. It was all alien to me, and it was an incredibly steep learning curve. I thought it was going to be easy, and it certainly wasn't. After uploading my first video, I thought I would instantaneously gather views. After a few days I saw that they were in fact going up, but I soon realised that this was because I was clicking on my own video. After about a week, my first subscriber popped up, known as Tiger Claw TV. This chap opened my eyes up and led me to a community of gaming channels that I really had no idea existed, and most of them seemed to start around the same time I did in 2009. And without this community, mine and other channels would have been nothing, and our friends lists would have been very empty, as I've personally met some of the most incredible friends and YouTubers along the way. Many of them I owe a great deal to, as they have taken the time out to shout my channel out and bring exposure, which no doubt helped it grow, especially in the first 3 years. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these awesome people, so thank you guys. And you, yes you that sit, stand and watch my videos however you do, leave comments, always provide me with the energy, and you always spur me on to create something new. The channel has seen many changes over the years, from the series of video games and consoles on the loft, which has now led on to the Easter egg hunter, and more recently cartridge tilting and glitches. And in the near future I hope to produce something completely different, but that is still on the drawing board at the moment. You, my buddies and friends, are awesome. Thank you all for making my channel what it is today, and here's to the future. A massive 100,000 high fives to each and every one of you. Thank you. James.